How's it going, everyone? It's G.I. Jake, your proud U.S. Army veteran, here to serve you. Fall in. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about my tour in Iraq. At least the first part. I'm going to break it up into two parts. All right, let's get to it. March 2008. Here I am, little Specialist Smith at age 18, ready to go to Iraq. First Cav, again, it was a rotating active duty base. So when First Cav was over there, 4th ID was in the rear. When we were over there, First Cav was in the rear. My first year, literally just... Again, because in a previous video I had mentioned my unit had just got back, so we were going to be back for at least a year. First Cav had gone over there for 15 months, so we were in the rear for about 15 months, just preparing. Went to NTC and at Fort Irwin, just preparing to go overseas in Iraq. Basically playing guns out there in the desert. So, March 2008 comes, I got promoted fairly fast to a specialist. You know, I got those waivers, got the high PT score, which allowed me to move up faster than my peers. Again, if you really don't get in trouble, you pretty much make it to E4 just like that, as long as you keep your shit straight. It's not really that hard. Okay, you'll hear dummy proof a lot in Army. It's pretty easy as long as you just stay focused. All right, stay driven and don't fuck around. So March 2008, we ship off to Iraq. Boom, right away, I'll never forget it. It was fucking long as shit. The flight was, excuse my language, it was a 17-hour flight. I just got tired just thinking of it. We went from like Dallas to Chicago to Greenland to Germany to Biop, and then we flew Black Hawks to Fob Falcon, which was cool as shit because I always seen the movie Black Hawk Down as a kid, and then at 18 I'm in a Black Hawk flying, and I'll never forget. As soon as I got off my Black Hawk, we're getting hit with mortars, we're getting shot with RPGs. I looked up, I saw an RPG almost hit another Black Hawk, and I can vividly remember thinking, man, it's gonna be a long 15 months. At that time, I didn't know I was gonna do 12 or 15 months over there overseas. Because every day shit changes in the Army. Thankfully, I only had to do 12 months. But First Cav was basically saying, yeah, they're just welcoming you in. That's all they're doing. They're letting you know who runs shit. So for the first week or two, it was just heavy bombing. I'll never forget, you can always tell a new soldier from an old soldier on base because there was like a radar system on the base. So every time a mortar round would come through, you'd hear incoming, incoming. Now someone that had been on base for a while probably wouldn't be as concerned. They wanted you to run to the barriers whenever you heard incoming for protection. And new soldiers, they would be sprinting over there. As someone that had been there a little bit longer, after you're there for 3 or 4 or 5 months, you're like, that could be a fucking bird, triggering that sensor. What if that's not even a mortar round? So, I mean, that's just the way I looked at it. At 18, I was kind of fearless. I think like a lot of guys are, they're fearless. They want to prove themselves. So I was like, I'm not going to go run to that barrier. What if the mortar round hits there? Thankfully, I never died. Now we did live in these little mini apartments kind of on base, and I'll never forget, they had said just like a week or two before, a guy went outside to smoke a cigarette, mortar round came and killed him. It was the last cigarette he ever smoked, rest in peace. So, and that was right outside where we were now staying. And I just remember being on the second floor. Not only that, I was on the second bunk on the second floor, so when we were getting bombed, the whole building would be shaking, and I'd be like, fuck. And my buddy that slept on the first bunk, he was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay, you pussy? Nah, he was a cool guy. But thankfully I never died. Those mortar rounds did come in at first a lot. I guess First Cav had told us they're just welcoming you and letting you know who's in charge. But we turned that shit around real quick. Got on patrols and put them in check. My first 3 months, I was pretty much doing a couple things. So because again, I'm an 88 Mike, which is transportation, so I was delivering barriers. I was also doing patrols. But patrols are pretty funny. Whether you want to shoot some shit, and you gotta be careful of those IEDs. You run over those IEDs. We had up armored vehicles. You can just hear them pop right under the fucking vehicle. Pop, pop, pop. Had there been some big IEDs, shit would probably went a lot crazier, as far as them fucking up the vehicles. But we had those big MRAPs and everything, which is just like a big ass up armored Jeep kind of hard to explain, but I mean, we just run over those things. They're just popping you sounded like those little firecrackers. These guys, the insurgents, they would hide IEDs in dead dogs on the side of the road. They would hide them anywhere. So you'd be driving and you think you see an IED, you'd have to report it to EOD, and they would go inspect it. And hopefully, I think when I was there, I want to say about most of the time it wasn't an IED. We were just very careful and paranoid. But hey, if you had been on the road for a long time, you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna run it over. So thankfully, nothing ever happened to me. my battalion did lose 6 soldiers. May they rest in peace. LFE. Hopefully their family, you know, has moved on, and just know that their young loved ones died doing what they loved, and that's serving their country. But yeah, the first 3 months I was doing patrols. I was driving barriers around. It was pretty interesting, to say the least. I had a lot of fun because, you know, I was 18. I had never done anything like that my entire life. I was on the other side of the world. I was serving my country. I was, you know, willing to do what I had to do to make it back home to my family. I had my son. Again, I had my son at age 15. And then the next 3 months, I actually got put on a jail detail because, again, the Army uses you for whatever the fuck they want. I got put on a jail detail. I was working in a jail for 3 months. And I'll never forget, they would basically bring in detainees. We would, you know, process them in, keep them there, and then they would either go move up to a prison or get released. And I would, you know, bring them their food. I was basically like a fucking CO, you know, for the detainees. I'll never forget, we got the most fourth wanted guy in Iraq. He stopped by and he was trying to pull a rank in front of the other detainees, and then he asked us for more blankets, and my NCO at the time was like, fuck that, you ain't getting shit from me, I don't care who you are. This dude had a suit on, and he had like $100 bills sewed within his suit. It was pretty crazy. And he ended up moving up. They ended up sending his ass to prison. I remember he got expedited. Like, they came and picked his ass up before he even opened his first water bottle, and he went to prison. That was pretty cool meeting him. So I did that for 3 months. And then after that, I went on leave, okay? And I came back home, and that was kind of shell shock, you know, to be out there for 6 months doing all that, and then you come home and you're just like, whoa. And I just remember being with my family and having fun. Then when I came back, I had my second part of the tour, which I'm gonna save for another video because I don't want to get too long. You know, just give you some veggies, and I'll get into meats and potatoes in the next video. But this is my first part of my video of my tour in Iraq. Again, it was definitely life changing, and there was more good stuff in the second video, in the second part to this. So I just wanted to give you a little taste of how G.I. Jake did in Iraq at age 18. Again, I'm alive 10 years later, here I am. And if you want me to add any other things, because, you know, just email me at gijproudveteran@gmail.com, or leave a comment below. And just let me know what you want me to talk about. And if you have any other questions, how Iraq was and everything. I'll tell you this, again, it was hot. It was dry heat. I had 40 pounds of gear on, full battle rattle, and I had a 249 saw while everyone else had M4s. Squad leader thought it'd be the funniest. It'd be funny to give the smallest guy in the squad the biggest weapon. But hey, man, that thing is a sight to see, especially when you fire it. Okay, so yeah, I'll get into more stuff in the second video. I'm also gonna drop a video on Jody and those Dear John letters, because we did receive some of those while I was overseas. But again, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Email me, gijproudveteran@gmail.com. Again, this is G.I. Jake, here to proudly serve you. Carry on.